Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Welcome, everybody, to the Hockey Think Tank podcast, brought to you by the hockeythinktank.com, a website for all players, parents, and coaches to go to get a little bit of education and a little bit of inspiration regarding the greatest game on the planet. What an episode we have for you guys here today. I'm sitting in the Taj Mahal of all gym basements with my man, Jeff Vechs. I'm here in St. Louis in the flesh, and we just did an unbelievable conversation with Tony Adams, safety with the New York Jets. Tony works out with Vechs here in St. Louis, and guys, get ready to be motivated, get ready to be inspired. This is one of the best conversations we've ever had. Vechs has talked about having Tony on for a while here, and we're so glad to get him on. We're here in person, but let's get over to the talent podcast first. The one Jeffrey J. Vechs. Vechs, what's up, my man?
I love being able to watch the intro in person, first and foremost. It makes me laugh even harder than when we're on, our hundreds of calls that we've done, via Zoom for this podcast. So nothing better than being in person with you. And guys, we're going to have this episode on the Facebook group, I think, and on YouTube, where you can watch the full conversation also. Since Topher and I were in person here in St. Louis, I had my media team come out and film it with, since it's a special one with one of my clients too. So this is one you're definitely not going to want to miss.
This is unbelievable.
I was so excited to have Tony Adams on because of the person he is, the man he is, on top of what he's been able to do as an undrafted free agent starter in the NFL in his second year, and everything that goes along with that. Just an amazing human, and somebody that I am very fortunate to know just as a person. And we tap into so many great things, from mindset to youth sports to being an all-around athlete and what that does, building athleticism to help you in whatever sport you choose, into resiliency, into just being comfortable with reaching out to ask for help when you need it, finding mentorship. I'm telling you guys, this isn't a hockey player, but it does not matter. The messages will still ring true for hockey players, any human being with a heartbeat, or any sport you're playing. This episode is going to help you. I truly believe that.
Yeah. Be ready to be inspired. Be ready to be motivated. You're probably going to laugh a little, might shed a tear a little. You're going to want to run through a brick wall at some point. This conversation absolutely had it all. And, man, to have a current professional athlete be that open, that vulnerable about everything that was going on. Dude, this was and it's really cool. I mean, his goal is to provide perspective for people who might be going through some of the stuff that he went through, and to see where he was at certain points in his life and things that were going on, to see where he's at now, and to see how his life kind of changed. Man, dude, I'd never met him. I just know from hearing you talk about him, and you're being this dude's going to be a star. He's going to be a star just because of his mindset. And I'm on the bandwagon, man. This was unbelievable. Powerful. You're going to get a lot of Tony Adams fans after this. Yeah. I think this will be one of our most downloaded episodes by far.
I agree. And, he's a real deal too. Everything he talks about, I see it every day. He walks what he talks, and we were actually at a football training center, Elite Football Academy, who's my business partner at my gym, Matt Bierman, the guy who owns it, who's done so much for youth athletes in the St. Louis area, Tony Adams being one of them. We were over there training this past week. It was probably 4 days ago. And there were some young receivers and quarterbacks kind of on the other side of the turf, running some routes and stuff. And I'm, I didn't play football, so I'm a gym guy. So I'm constantly asking Tony, why do you do that on the field? And thinking of ways that I can train him in ways that he needs to be good on the field for. Right. And so I'm asking him about being a receiver, because he was a receiver when he was younger. And he's like, yeah, so watch him do this, blah, blah, blah. And he's telling it. And I'm like, yeah, go tell him. And he's like, I don't want them to think I'm coming down on him. Like, TA, you play in the NFL. Think about when you were 14 years old, if an NFL player came up to you and said, hey man, why don't you try this? So he walks over there, starts running routes with the guys, is teaching them stuff, starts breaking it down. The kid had no idea who he was, that he was an NFL player. And so I'm standing there and they're talking for a few minutes, and he's like, sir, do you got any good receiver coaches in the area? He's like, yeah. Follow me on Instagram and I'll DM you right away and I'll send you a whole bunch of guys that you can reach out to and blah, blah, blah. And you see the kid, he goes, gets a phone, he brings it back, and TA puts in his Instagram. The kid looks at it and then looks at him and looks, and he's like, and then he runs over to Matt, the owner of and he's like, that guy plays in the NFL. and the kid's face just, and I'm like, TA, dude, you just made that kid's year, you know, and that's what it's all about. And he's always doing that with his charities and his speeches and everything. He's going to change a lot of people's lives. And on top of being, a great football player,
he's going to change our podcast listeners' lives after this one.
You guys are going to love this. I'm telling you.
This was unbelievable, but I am in St. Louis for a reason. So came down here, obviously, to see Vechs and NTA, but it's the NCAA tournament right now. And first of all, so we are recording this intro on Saturday afternoon. So a couple days before this will come out. And my Big Red just lost to Denver. And I just want to say congrats to that staff and those players, Shafe, Benny, Flanny, Benny Russell, and man, what a year. 10 freshmen. ECAC had a tough year this year. They had to scratch and claw their way into the tournament by winning the ECAC championship. And the job that they did this year was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And had a great first game against Maine. And it could have went either way with Denver, man. They've toe-to-toe with them. And so just want to congratulate those guys on a phenomenal season. And then both of us got to see our other teams. You got to see Western yesterday playing against Michigan State, and I got to watch Michigan play against North Dakota. So,
Western, heartbreaker. Heartbreaker. Up by a goal with 55 seconds left. State ties it, and then State wins it in overtime. Just a heartbreaker. I thought Western outplayed them. But for me, honestly, obviously I wanted them to win, obviously, but to see them in the tournament, again, is really, really cool. Really cool for me to see where the program's at, where it's going. Coach Fursch, Brian Bauer, a bunch of people that are still around the program. When I was there, I got to see them. Very emotional, seeing some of these people who changed my life. I got to see Jim Colhane, who was my head coach all 3 years that I played at Western, and gave him a big hug, told him I loved him. I probably talked to him for half an hour. You talked to him for a bit, but just really cool to catch up with him and tell him thank you so much for everything he did for me. And I'm at where I'm at in my life now, and a big part of that is because of the 3 years that I spent at Western Michigan and what the school gave to me. And yeah, man, it was really cool. But also really happy for you in Michigan. You being the director of hockey ops last year in Michigan and getting to see multiple-time podcast guest, head coach at University of Michigan, Brandon Arado, also my roomie from juniors. Got to see him and his family and his kid and everybody, and that was super fun. We got to see him get a big W, come from behind, win in the third, and we'll be at the game tomorrow for 5:30 p.m. to see who's going to win between Michigan and Michigan State to advance to the Frozen Four.
Dude, Michigan State to get to the Frozen Four. Baby.
Huge.
That is a rivalry.
Whole state of Michigan is going to be watching.
Oh my God, it's going to be insane. But yeah, it was good. It was a good game North Dakota's a wagon too, man. They play hard.
28 on North Dakota. Love watching that guy play.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. It was a great game. Another one of those games that could have went either way, and that's what tournament's about. That's tough about a tournament, man. It's not a best of 3 or best of 5, 7. It's just one game, and anything can happen. Any bounce, any call by a ref, it's one and done, man. That's wild. It makes it really exciting.
Yep.
It makes it really exciting, but got to go in and do the starting lineups for the boys before the game again yesterday.
2-0 this year?
Now 3.
3-0.
We're not gonna.
Wow.
Hey, you're gonna knock on wood here.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, it's always good, man. Anybody knows who's been involved in college hockey, when you spend any amount of time, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years at a place, it's a party. It's a party. That's why I'm gutted for the guys at Cornell right now. I'm absolutely gutted for them right now. Really, really excited for the Michigan boys for tomorrow to play against their rival to get to the Frozen Four. 5-6 days after they just played them for the Big Ten championship. Like, doesn't get much better than that. But yeah, I mean, tournament time's the best, man. It's no greater time, and it's always so exciting. Always so exciting. But also what is exciting is going to be this conversation with Tony Adams. So before we do get over to Tony, we want to thank a few people, Vechs.
We better.
Okay, first want to thank Gel Sticks. Go to GELSTX.com. Use the coupon code ThinkTank, and you will get a discount on your way to Training Sticks.
I want to thank Train Heroic. Train Heroic is the amazing app that allowed me to work with 21 teams and organizations during this season. I already have teams and organizations signing up for next year. Guys, if you want me to help your players train in the gym, at home for younger players, right programming for your team to do at the rink together before or after practice, I have so many ways that I can help your players and your teams and your entire organization get better with anything that you have available. That's what this training app allows me to do. So I cannot thank Train Heroic enough. And if you're about to start your online training or start your training for the off season, you can join my online training program. Just go to gmbm.com and look up training under Give More. I also want to thank Cured Nutrition. Cured Nutrition is a CBD company I'm with. I've been taking CBD since the last year I played my 17-18 season. I've been taking CBD twice a day, every single day. It's something that helps me think, recover, just live a better life. They have tons of different products. Please, guys, reach out if you have any questions. I am here to help you in any way I can with my journey with CBD and plant medicine. So you can go to curednutrition.com, type in the discount code GMBM, or just reach out to me and I'll help any way I can.
People helping people. Jeffrey Lavecchio.
You.
Man of the people. Okay, also want to thank NHL Sense Arena. Guys, this thing is unbelievable. Vechs and I had the chance to use it today. And, dude, this is like unreal. It kind of
away.
Gets you back into the game.
Blown away.
And so it's virtual reality training. So they have like over 100 drills that you can use on here, whether you're a player or you're a goalie. And it just gets you like, it's about training kind of like hockey sense and awareness. And like we all know that ice time is limited. Ice time is also very expensive. And so everybody's trying to figure out ways to get better that doesn't have to do with being on the ice. And so this is just like a really cool training tool, and like encourage everybody to get it. Like it's awesome. Like you and I played a lot of, well, maybe you, I played a ton of like NHL video games when I was younger.
Yeah, I wasn't a nerd.
Played a ton like Chell. We didn't call it Chell at the time. But this like brings you back. I think like playing video games when I was younger actually helped me like with my hockey sense.
Really?
I
wouldn't
like,
surprise me.
I do. I actually do. Now, if you overboard it, that's not good. Obviously, for all the kids out there, don't do that. But like I love to play, and I would like see the patterns and like you got to make plays quick with your fingers and whatever. Anyway, like this is a great training tool to be able to teach kind of like awareness, hockey sense, seeing things. And so we have a partnership with NHL Sense Arena. And like I said, over 100 drills on there. And for our listeners, you can save $50 on annual plans by using the code ThinkTank, one word, at checkout. So go to hockey.sensearena.com and dude, pick this up today. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. And we will have some more stuff, like as we continue to use this more, like we're going to have some more stuff for you, some great stories with it. Also want to thank Helios Hockey. Helios Hockey is an unbelievable product. It is a sensor that you put into your shoulder pad, and it gives you real-time data, real-time feedback. And so it helps out with stride mechanics. It helps out with what the little kids call a hustle score. So it gets moving every time you're going on the ice. And then the game changer is it clips all your shifts for you. Pairs.
It's amazing.
Every time I say that, like Vechs, like mind is blown.
Literally amazing.
He hears it every week, but he's still like mind blown. And so it pairs up with whatever video you use. It can be a phone, it can be an iPad, it can be a camera, it can be Live Barn, whatever it may be. And it'll pair up with that. And you get your shifts cut for you immediately after the game, immediately after practice. Awesome stuff. So go to helioshockey.com. And for our listeners, we have also a deal where you can get 20% off your initial 12-month membership by using the coupon code ThinkTank, one word, at checkout. And guys, again, another game changer. I say that too much right now, but that's okay.
That's true.
It's absolutely true. And lastly, another game changer, icehockeysystems.com. Go to icehockeysystems.com today. It's the best website out there for all your coaching education needs. Thousands of drills, whiteboard explanations from really high-level hockey people, the ability to draw up your drills, send them out to your team, whether it's digitally, whether you want to print it out, whatever it may be. I've seen coaches use both with Ice Hockey Systems. The amount of people that have come up to me that are like, dude, I do all your stuff on Ice Hockey Systems. Like, it's helped me immensely. And like, again, for all the coaches out there that might not have time to like plan a great practice, boom, you go in, got your practice plan set up for you. You can draw up drills, whatever it may be. It's just a phenomenal tool, guys. So again, go to icehockeysystems.com. We have partnered with them where you can get this for every single coach in your association. Again, game changer. Sorry for saying that too much, but we love the companies that we work with, and hopefully they can provide some value for you guys too. Again, icehockeysystems.com. And lastly, thank you to all of you listeners. We really appreciate everything that you do for us. We continue to grind this baby out, and not just grind this baby out. We embrace the grind. We love the grind too, man.
And speaking of our listeners, was really cool is I was walking around the college games last night, and somebody came up to me and it was like, "Are you Jeff Vechs?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I've been listening to the podcast since the beginning, 200 or 300 hours. I know that voice anywhere. I heard your voice." And so I chatted with him for like 10 minutes, him and his son, and talking to him about a whole bunch of things. And, you know, that's another reason we do this, is to help all of our listeners. And I said, you know, if you ever have questions, if you ever have things you want us to talk about, please let us know, because we do this to help you guys. So please keep sharing the show, keep spreading the love, and let's keep this thing going.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we had two different people come up to us at the games yesterday and be like, "Hey, we love the podcast." So again, we appreciate you guys. Let us know if you have any feedback for us. You can do it with ratings or reviews wherever you get your podcast, or send us emails, DMs on social media, whatever it may be. And so thank you guys for all your support through all the years. And like, this conversation is exactly our why of why we do this. Like, honestly, you will be a better person after listening to this conversation. And for all the kids out there, again, another kid, undrafted, that ends up like, he's a starter in the NFL right now for the New York Jets. Number 1 defense in the NFL last year. Team-wise, didn't do as well, but number 1 defense in the NFL last year. And man, like, I have to imagine like this guy's the reason why, or part of the reason why anyway.
Definitely
like,
a big part of it. You guys are all going to be Tony T.A. Adams fans here after 100%, this.
Man. So without further ado, here we go with Tony Adams.
We know hockey games move fast, but with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, you can score faster than anything happening on the ice. This week, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. If you go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, you can see all the available lines and all the available odds for all NHL games going on. That's right. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app with the code THPN. New customers bet just $5 on the NHL and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the code THPN. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/hockey for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. Copyright NHL 2024. All rights reserved.
We are so excited to have on this episode of the podcast. We are live from Jeff Vechs' GMBM basement here. We got cameras, we got lights, because we're bringing in the big guns today. We got Tony Adams. Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you guys for having me today.
In the lair. Let's go.
In the lair. This is a little bit better than a lair, dude. This is like...
ultimate man cave for meatheads. That's what I call it.
Dog, this place fire. Absolute gas.
Well, Tony, man, I'm so excited to get you here. I've heard so much about you from Vechs and just the work that you guys do together and just the type of guy you are and your story of getting to where you were to, playing at the ultimate in the NFL. So first thing we always ask our people that come on, especially ones like yourself that have reached the pinnacle of your sport, like, how'd you fall in love with it? Football's got to be a passion of yours. So, what happened? How'd you fall in love with football growing up?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I did not love football growing up. I actually, I'm not gonna lie. The only thing that I liked about football was scoring touchdowns. Like, growing up, like the first thing you would do is hit at practice, and I would always and I hated school growing up. I wasn't the best student, but I would always try to prolong doing my homework so I could come to practice a little bit later to avoid the hitting drills and stuff. And I actually quit football when I was young because I just didn't like it, and I picked it up in high school, and then I think I just fell in love with getting the ball in my hands. Like,
you were a receiver when you were younger, weren't you?
Yeah, I played receiver.
So in football, what age in practice do you start really practicing tackling and hitting and stuff? Is that right away when you were playing when you were younger, or is it a little bit older? Because in hockey, you start hitting at 13. So you can't hit below 13. It's like you're working on skating and your skills. When you get to 13, 14 is when you start checking. And that's a really hard age for a lot of players that are a little bit scared with the physicality. So is that you're hitting from right away when you're young in practice, or is it you start to beef that stuff up when you get a little bit older? Or
dog, right away, right away, them pads clacking, dog, your coach is going crazy. They want to see you. They want to see who tough, who with it. And I don't know, at a young age, it kind of just wean people out. I don't know. Thank God I made it through the ranks because I hated hitting growing up.
So you stopped playing because you didn't love it at what age, and then you picked it back up at 15 or something when high school?
I'll say I stopped it maybe fifth, sixth grade. I was playing for a little bit. I loved track and I loved playing basketball. Until I found out I wasn't gonna grow no more. But
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Yeah.
I love track, man, and I picked it back up in high school. My freshman year of high school, I was like, I might as well give it a try. Everybody else doing it, so I might as well give it a try.
So you stopped playing football in fifth grade, and then were you doing track actually for school or competitively, and were you doing basketball competitively as well?
Yeah, I would play AAU basketball, travel, and in track, I was actually pretty good in track. At the Junior Olympics, I think my junior year of high school, I placed sixth in the country.
For what event?
400 hurdles.
Ooh, hurdles.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's legit.
That's why he's athletic. That's crazy.
That was my race, man.
Well, we talk about all the time, too many, we see parents in hockey anyways, putting a little bit of extra pressure on their players to play year round. They might see little Johnny is playing hockey year round. Little Johnny's playing hockey year round. Does that mean I need my son to play hockey year round? And we're always saying play other sports in the off season, round out your athleticism. I mean, we're sitting with a guy here who just started in the NFL last year, starting safety for the Jets. And he didn't play the sport that he's a professional in at the highest level now for 3 or 4 years, becoming an all-around athlete, especially me as a strength coach, performance coach, I think is the most important thing you can do when you're younger. So do you think that the track and the basketball helped you be a better football player?
Definitely. I think the competitiveness of playing basketball is something that I carried into my game. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the best player playing basketball, but I was always I always had to match up a guard and their best player. I was always intense. You know what I'm saying? I wanted that one-on-one battle. I wanted to shut down your best man. That's something I took personal growing up. In track, track is the heart of all sports. The best thing you could do if you're an athlete growing up is run track growing up. Because it transfers to every sport. I don't know about hockey necessarily, but
because you see me run.
Pretty still. But like track, like dog, like you're running, you're competing. It teaches you accountability, self-accountability, because when you're out there on the track, it's you versus 7 other people, and you have no one to blame nothing on. It's just you, and it's on you if you win or lose, you know what I mean? And like track, it teaches you heart. Like when you coming around that last straightaway and you don't got nothing left in the tank, all it is how big is your heart? Is my heart bigger than the man next to me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And both of you got the monkey on your back, and you got people clapping, and like, dog, it just fired me up, because like people don't understand playing other sports is what makes you better at the sport you want to play.
Love that.
I love when we get guys like of your caliber on here that say that.
Yeah, dude,
actually, you know what you're saying though. So this is just a kind of a weird tangent, but not really. So movie Seabiscuit. You guys ever watch that movie?
The horse race.
So it's the horse racing movie where the horse, he's the last one to win the Triple Crown or whatever, all the races. And it was really cool because, and actually I haven't thought about this in a while, but the trainer was like to the rider, as long as you get the horse in the last length to be even, I want my horse to be like literally like eye to eye with the other horse. So our horse sees that, and then they like have the heart, right? It's like, you ain't beating me. Like, I'm freaking going. That's so true. That like that competitive edge, especially you're talking about, like, man, that's like a huge separator for like the guys who like really go and the ones that don't.
So let's ask that, because, you know, this is something that I get asked a lot with training so many athletes. Like, is that something that's inside you? Is that something that's built? Is it a combination of both? Having that, I'm playing basketball, I want to guard your best player. In track, I want to come down the straightaway neck and neck and see who the better man is. Is that something that somebody, a coach, a parent, anyone helped you build? Or is that something that you've kind of always had inside you?
I don't know. I never like to say that something like somebody's just born with something, you know what I'm saying? I feel like every skill could be built. And I feel like that's built through practice. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I'll be at practice, like sometimes I want the fastest kid out there, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to give everything I got on every rep. And like when I used to step on the track, bro, I used to try to kill myself every day. Like I want to be like, by the time that last rep come, I don't want nothing left in the tank for that day. I want to be laid out on the track. Like, and I know that sound like extreme, but like it builds that, like, you know what I'm saying? It builds that heart, and it builds that fire. And it's like, I know, like, and when that race day come, I did everything I could do preparing for this moment.
It's confidence,
so
man.
I know you ain't did what I did. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when we come down this straightaway, I'm going to give everything I got, and I know I'm going to beat you. But if you beat me, you might beat me this time, but you're going to have to see me again. You feel what I'm saying? Because St. Louis ain't that big. You feel me? You're going to have to see me again.
Yeah.
I have a real quick story. So yesterday we were training out on the field, and I film TA when he's doing like some different running drills so that he can watch him. So he wants to he'll do a drill.
Nobody wants to watch you.
Nobody wants to watch me run. I run like a hockey player. We don't run in our sport. But so I film TA, and then as we're walking back to the starting line to reset, he'll watch the video. He watches video almost every rep. Every rep that he runs something, he wants to see the video and be like, okay, 1, and he's counting his steps and whatever his process is for learning how to be better. But yesterday I showed him a video where he stopped 5 yards short. Like he ran hard, but the last 5 yards he did not run through the line. And I showed him the video. And I said, hey, look, you've told me what your goals are. You know, I know you. I know what your goals are. Boom, look at this right here. And it was a quarter of a second because he's so fast. So quarter of a second, but I just wound the tape. You eased up right before the line. And this was towards the end of our workout. He was a little bit gassed, obviously. Like he said, he puts it all out there. And he goes, that rep doesn't count. And I'm like, I don't want to do too much. That rep doesn't count. He did the rep again. And he was running 90 yards, which is a lot of yards to run. So he's gassed, and he's like, that rep doesn't count. I was like, okay, let's go. But it's like that inner, you know, and laying it all out there and being it done at the end of the day and knowing I did everything I could today. I call it winning the day. You just win the day. And by that it means you do everything you can and you possibly can to get better. And you go to sleep with confidence so that when you come back, if you did lose a race the day before or the week before or whatever, you know that you got better and better and you built that confidence. You're going to friggin' win next time, you know?
1,000%. And I'll talk about that workout yesterday. Like that's the thing about having some success. Like, you lose some of that drive, and you know what I'm saying. Like he should never have to say that to me, but it's always good to have somebody there that can hold you accountable and hold you up to the standard you want to be, that you say you want to be. You feel what I'm saying? Because, like, for him to say, like, bro, you're not living to the standard that you say you want to be, that mean a lot to me. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. I could trust him. You know what I mean? Like, and having somebody out there you could trust and they're training you, it mean a lot. You feel what I'm saying? That's how loyalty is built.
For sure. And especially like you talk about having success, like when you have success, a lot of times people don't want to challenge you and they don't want to be honest with you. They want to tell you what you want to hear so you don't get mad at them, so they can be a part of your circle or whatever it may be. So having people who will be like straight up honest with you, look you in the eye when they talk, and, you know, like, I'm not using you. Like, I don't want something from you. I'm actually trying to make you better here. Let's freaking go.
Exactly.
It's huge.
Exactly. Like, yeah, man, it mean a lot. It mean a lot just hearing that yesterday and just looking at this rep. He was like, look at this rep compared to this rep. And then I did it again. I'm like, nah, man, when you make the same mistake twice, it's a choice. So I was like, nah, man, this rep don't count. You feel what I'm saying? This rep don't count. We got to do it over again. You feel me? And I don't know.
Make the same mistake. That's a choice. That might be going up on the wall.
That's going up on the wall. Every time we have high level guests who are people like yourself who push them, and they say almost every episode will have something where I'm like, oh, I'm writing that down. What did he say? If you make the same mistake twice,
that's a choice.
That's a choice. If you make the same mistake twice, that's a choice.
It's processing.
Yeah, you know, a little sporty concussions. I got to get in there. But that is a powerful, powerful saying. I hope you guys rewind that and you listen to that again.
Yeah, that's unreal. Well, Tony, I want to mention, like, you talk about like how hard you train, right? And like that gives you the confidence. I heard a saying the other day. I was listening to a podcast, and the guy was like, "I don't want to go to heaven well rested. Don't want to go to heaven well rested. Like, I want to go to heaven tired,
like that too.
Like tired, you know. Like, I gave everything that I had, but at the end of the day, like, you can get a little bit of confidence by like getting lucky or like getting, you know, a result that maybe you didn't earn. But like when this kind of confidence that you're talking about, like, that's real confidence. That's like, that gives you the swagger, which you need to play at your level or the NHL in our sport. Like, you need to have swag, like a little, I don't want to say arrogance, but like, hey, like, I know I were like, one of the sayings for one of the teams I played for once was, they don't know. Ooh, it was like, they don't know, because they don't know the work that went into, like, we outworked you like at 6 a.m. We outworked you like
6 months
on
ago.
The field, 6 months
in the
ago.
off season. I outworked you.
You don't know. You don't know what I've been through. And so I love that, man. Like, just that mentality. So where did you, like, again, like Vechs kind of asked it, but like, where does that come from? Was that something like, did you have like an influential coach or a couple of coaches in basketball or football or track growing up, or like family? Like, what was it that you think helped you to create this inner drive that like most people, if like not any people, have?
I'm not gonna lie, it stemmed from my parents. Like, my parents weren't together really growing up, so like I seen my mother work really hard. I seen her get called in the middle of the night working overtime, and you know, I just built that drive and ambition for my mother. And like my father, on the other hand, I seen my father struggling my whole life. Like, I see my father, my grandmother living with rats, roaches, like, you know what I'm saying, living in poverty, you know what I mean, and in some bad situations. So, you know what I mean, that inner drive comes from, I get the ambition from my mother, but I get the, like, you know what I mean, the focus and wanting more from seeing like some of the stuff I see my father go through, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, it means a lot to me, you know what I mean? Like, working hard, having that mindset, man, always wanting more. And it mean a lot to me, because like I see my parents do a lot for me growing up.
That's awesome.
Is that something where, because obviously undrafted had to be hard. You know, I was undrafted, signed in the NHL. It wasn't easy. I think football.
I was undrafted too, by the way.
I think, by the way, I know you see Toph here, and he's 5'4". Toph was disgusting at hockey.
For real?
Dude, bro. You see like me, and you're like, yeah, that guy's a model, ex-pro athlete, whatever.
I don't know about
Wait, describe me now.
But you look at Toph, and, also a model. He's got a face for radio. No, just kidding. He's got a body for podcasting. But but 5'4" in hockey when hockey was like big, like everyone was like my size and like bigger. And he had over 100 points in college hockey in the Ivy League where they play less games than my league. What he did is amazing. And I tell people that all the time. And he had to go through a ton of adversity being a smaller guy. You, undrafted, played multiple sports, you know, your career in college wasn't as good in the beginning of college as it was your last couple of years, right? Like adversity and building confidence and all those things, they go hand in hand. But like when you were down, when you were going through these hard times, when you weren't the starter, when you weren't the guy, first year in the NFL, not the starter, coming in undrafted, got to make the team. All of that is adversity. How have you dealt with that adversity? And do you have a process with adversity? Is it just like, I'm just going to go out there and every day just keep showing up? Or has somebody helped you mentally or emotionally with how to get through the setbacks? Because in sports, you know, sports, life, you're going to hit roadblocks. You're going to hit setbacks. I think the people that are the most successful are the ones that learn from it and find a way around it. But when you're younger, not everybody knows how to get through those hard times. For the young athletes that are listening, what advice do you have for them when they hit adversity?
That's a great question. I think,
only kind of have.
Yeah, I think it's a lot that goes into that. I'll start with me personally. I struggled with that growing up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I faced a lot of adversity growing up. You know what I mean? And I say as the older I got, it's built this resilience, like this mental resilience. Like, man, like I'm not gonna let too much sway me because you feel what I'm saying. I've been through the worst of my life. Like my life can't get no worse than this. Like I feel like, and there's some more rock bottoms that I could hit, but like. I feel like I done been through a fair share of things growing up. But my advice for the younger athletes coming up is like, it get better, it get greater later. Just keep pushing, like it get greater later, man. Like that's all I can really say about it, and that's why I would tell my younger self, like. I think about that all the time. Like, what would I tell my younger self? Everything you go through, I would tell them like it's all gonna be worth it. You feel what I'm saying? Because all that stuff that you're going through is just molding you. It's just building this armor. You feel what I'm saying? And then as you get older, when stuff hit that armor, it's just gonna bounce right off. It's gonna deflect, man.
Yeah.
Like, I done lost the closest people to me, man. I done seen the closest people to me go to jail, man. I didn't see my dad, them living with rats and roaches, man. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not saying like my life has been the worst, because it hasn't. I'm grateful to have great people in my life. I never wanted for anything growing up. My mother took care of me, but like, dog, I done been through some stuff, man, and like, you feel me? Life can't get no worse, man. I'm actually blessed. I'm grateful. So sometimes I tell the younger.
So gratitude, pretty big thing. Like even when you were younger, like I'm grateful for this or that. Even though this is happening right now, I've got this or that. Is that something that you were able to use when you were younger, gratitude, and like think about the things you were grateful for? Or is that something now looking back that you're like, wow, that hard stuff, like I'm grateful I went through that, you know? In the moment, were you able to rise above and be like, this is happening to me in life or whatever, but I'm grateful for this and this? Or is that something that came later?
I think it came later. I think it came later. I didn't know how to really deal with it growing up. Not until really I found the Bible and I found like some great mentors to help me navigate what I was feeling, what I was going through, help me dig myself out of these dark abysses that like I would put myself in from just going through all the stuff and dealing with it just myself. But now I say I feel gratitude, and it just get greater later. You feel what I'm saying? Keep pushing, because the sun gonna rise again.
I love that, man. So I go around and do a lot of team building, working with teams on culture and stuff. First two things I talk about are resilience and relationships. And the more that I like think about it and like hearing you talk too, like it's almost, you can't really have one without the other. Exactly. Like to be resilient, you have to have good people pushing you when you don't want to be pushed, but you also need people who are going to be there to put an arm around you. When like we all need an arm around us every once in a while. We all need a kick in the ass every once in a while too. And I don't think you can really have great relationships without resilience too, because relationships ain't easy. Like relationship between a player and a coach, relationship between siblings, relationship between, spouses, whatever it is, like they take work.
They take a lot of work. And like, the more that I think about this, guys, like, dude, those two, you need, like, you can't have one without the other. You can't have one. You talked about mentors. Like, I think we can all sit here and think about like people that we needed at certain times of our life, or our life would be completely different. And like, surround yourself with, that's the thing that I talk about the most. It's so cliche, but like, you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with the right people, like, those tough times, you'll get through them a lot quicker, and you'll learn a lot more, because when you're going through the shit, like, a lot of times you don't really like, you don't get the gratitude until later on.
Yeah.
You know? And we had this saying last year. I worked at the University of Michigan with their hockey team, and it was good. Right? So like, something bad happens, good. You know, like, what are we going to learn from it? If you like, in the moment of the adversity, if there's like a recognition that like, okay, this is going to serve me well in some point down the road, like, that's what you kind of, it's a great perspective to have. And yeah, it's hard to get that without like good people that are helping you teach that, you know?
I agree 1,000%. Like, something that I've learned from my experiences in life, everything that happens to you is for your greater good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Either it's going to teach you a lesson, or it's something that's really good happening. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's something that like, you can help make somebody else's story a lot easier. You feel me? And that's something like I really lean on now. Like, man, I went through all I went through to make somebody else's life easier. You feel me? Jesus had to go through what Jesus went through, so like, our story could be different. And this is me sharing my good news to somebody else, helping them make their story. So like, I feel like, man, everything I go through is, the obstacle is the path. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Love that. You know, and Tony brought up mentors, and you're talking about relationships and resilience. And I think Topher and I talk about on the podcast all the time. Like, that's why we do this. Like, this is basically us mentoring whoever is listening from our experiences. And then we bring on unbelievable guests like yourself to also mentor the listener with your experiences. Tony talks a lot about mentors. Every single day.
Everything, man.
I work with him 4 to 6 days a week, depending on the week. And he's literally, every single day I've worked with him for the last, 8 weeks, he's like, my mentor said this mentor said that. So obviously mentorship is a lot to you. Yes. What do you get from mentorship, and like, what type, you have a couple of different mentors, because I've heard you talk about multiple. You know, I know the NFL is a little bit different than hockey. Like, they don't like telling people like what they're doing for training and stuff, because it's such a competitive field. And so, you know, we don't expose it all, but like, without giving away secrets, like, I know you have multiple mentors. What do you get from the different mentors? What are people mentoring you with? Obviously your position in football. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you got a mentor who's an ex-safety, you know, like, do you have other mentors in your life that are bringing you mentorship in different avenues?
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Every step of my life, like, I've met some type of male that's helped propel me to the next level, and that's mentally, physically, emotionally. I got a couple of different mentors. I do have a mentor who he helps me with football, but like, the biggest thing is like character building. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of my mentors, he say all the time, like, if I could get the better man, the better player automatically is going to come. Because like, if you're responsible off the field, like, you're going to be responsible on the field. If you're a trustworthy person off the field, you're going to be a trustworthy person on the field. You feel what I'm saying? Like, the 2 and 2 go hand in hand. You know what I mean? So like, I got, they just taught me how to be a better man. You know what I mean? Like, growing up, like, my pops was more like me and my pops was more like friends growing up. So like, I never had that real male role model, like, you know what I mean? Like, and the male role models I had, like, they weren't really teaching me how to be a man like I want to be a man. So like, I will always go and search for that, because I was always a curious person growing up. So like, I will always venture off, and like some of my friends' dad growing up, I'd be like, I like this about them, but I don't like that. And then I go to high school. I had my head coach. I like this about him. I might not like this, so I'm going to take this from him. And now I went to college. I had a mentor. I like this. I like how he gets in his word and his Bible. I like how he loves his wife. Where I'm going to take that from him. And I got all these different mentors, and I take what I need from them, and to help mold and shape me into the man I am today. So like, I feel like you should be doing that with every person you encounter, because you can learn something from everybody. Everybody you encounter, you can learn something from them.
I love that so much, man. And a lot of what you're talking about, what I loved hearing was like, I feel like in today's world, like we always see the bad in people, you know, and you're talking about taking the good from the people, because none of us are perfect. We all have our skeletons. We all have different shit that we go through, whatever it may be.
Exactly.
But like taking the good, like first of all, seeing the good in people instead of just like, you're on that team, I'm on this team, I hate you because you think this way or live this way or whatever it may be. Like, see the good in people and like take that and like use it as like fuel for you to be better at whatever you're maybe deficient at. Maybe that person, you can learn something from them. I love that so much.
Man, 1,000%. And man, this just goes back to, I love referring everything back to something biblical. Like in the Bible, God he takes imperfect man and makes them do large tasks they couldn't even imagine, and just shows us that, like, you feel what I'm saying? You don't have to be perfect to be a great man. Like, look at Moses, man. Moses, He killed someone. He killed the man. You feel what I'm saying? Moses was a coward. He ran off, and God had to tell him, like, no, Moses, you're going to be the one that's going to lead my people out of Egypt. And even Moses cowered from that one. But he eventually led his people out of Egypt, led them into like the wilderness, you know what I mean? And became this great leader and this great historical figure in the Bible. Man, look at David. David was an imperfect man. You know what I'm saying? He slept with somebody's wife. He got somebody killed. But God, when he talks about David, he said he was a man chasing after my own heart. You feel what I'm saying? So like, man, we all imperfect people. Ain't nobody perfect, but we imperfect people could do great things.
You're obviously a spiritual person, you know, on the podcast. You talked multiple times about the Bible and reference the Bible. I know you obviously pretty well, and I know that that's something that helps you stay on, you know, quote unquote, the right path, a good path, the path of trying to be a better person, be a better person in the community, in the world, all of those things. Is that something that you always had, or is that something that you began doing for a reason, or?
Yeah, I talked about this before, but the way I got into the Bible, it was one of my mentors, and it was after my uncle died, and like, I say it again, it was the straw that broke the camel back. Like, this death was like monumental to me. Like, man, my uncle lived with me. We was close. Like, man, he would always tell me, it was a saying he always said. He said, don't look right, don't look left, don't blink, because if you blink, you're going to miss it. Like, you're going to miss the opportunity of a lifetime. He told me one time after he had one of his strokes in the hospital, like, I just hated the man I was. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, I just hated how I was living life. Like, I would think about, like, the way I was living life, this wouldn't be a man like my uncle would be proud of, because, like, my uncle had sons, and, you know, they lived with me too, and they was running in and out of prison. You feel what I'm saying? He was disappointed how his sons was living. So, like, he would try to steer me the opposite direction. I just hated the man I was, and I went to my mentor. I was like, man, I really want to do something different. Like, man, can you teach me about this Bible you always talking about? And that, yeah, that death right there made me really want to change my life. Like, it made me want to be a better man. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, and, you know, that goes back to what we were talking about earlier with resilience. And something bad happens. And what Toph said at Michigan last year, what did they say? Good. I'm going to find a way to use this bad thing in my life. And I could let this bring me down. I could easily let this bring me down, but I'm going to find a way to do better after this. And you know, yours is a death with somebody close to you, probably, you know, for sure, one of the hardest things anyone could go through. But other people, like we've talked about, it might be a parallel in their own life. Like mine, for me, probably was getting a concussion right after signing an NHL deal. I worked my whole life. I have been so dedicated. I have chosen the right path, 99.9%, made the right decision to get to this goal. And then I felt like everything was ripped out from under me in one moment. And I get a year and a half of my life where I don't even know if I'm going to be able to walk and chew bubble gum again normally. Like, I'm so messed up and in the dark, but I could have let that take me one path down a dark path, or I'm going to find a way to make this better. It's why I do what I do now. It's why I said yes to this podcast, because I had a bad thing happen to me and I could sit in my sorrows, or I could find a way to leverage that bad thing, build resilience, and find a way to make it work for me and work for others and bring them into some kind of light and make their life better. And you did that with the Bible. You know, it happened with me because of my injury. I know Toph's been through that stuff too. You know, Toph, like I said, Toph was unbelievable at hockey. And the reason that he retired when he did, he played 2 years pro. He had this problem with his stomach, like this crazy problem where he was losing weight. He couldn't eat. Like he was messed up. Like I remember you
Maybe
going,
not that bad,
but I remember you going through it. And like, I remember talking to you when you were in your second year pro and you're like, I'm not eating. I don't have any energy. And how can you play pro sports if you don't have that? Yeah. Toph is one of the best coaches that I know for young men on the ice, off the ice. He's built the Hockey Think Tank company. He's built this podcast. He's helping probably, you know, it's at least thousands, but it's probably well over 10,000 players now, because he just like puts himself out there to give his experiences, like you said. And I just think that it's so important to learn these resiliency skills. And when you find that hard time, having a mentor there, like you had with your guy who said, you know, let's dig into the Bible. And, you know, for me, it was whatever I did and whatever he did. And mentorship is so important. And that's why we're so happy to have you on this podcast right now, because I know that there's somebody out there who's going through something that is the hardest thing they've ever been through, that's going to hear that and hear where you're at now and go, man, like he used this. For you, it was the Bible. He used this, and look where he is now.
You know what though, Vechs? I think another thing that's really important, and I want to ask you about this too, is like you said you approached this coach and he was like, hey, I want to learn about this. Mm-hmm. That ain't something that us as men do very often. Yeah. We think we can get through shit on our own, by ourselves. Like we got to build this like mental toughness, this resilience. We have to do it ourselves. You asked for help. Yeah. You went to this guy and you were like, hey, like you live the way that I want to live, like teach me. And like, that's something that we, especially as men, like have to talk about more. I'm very open. Like I've been to therapy on this podcast and it's helped me immensely, because figured out like a lot of my physical issues weren't physical issues. They were like anxiety. Like, you know, my career was changing. Like wasn't going the way it was supposed to. Like there was a lot of crazy stuff that was happening in my life. And like a lot of the physical ailments I had, a lot of it had to do with like the mental stuff, like the anxiety and everything. Right. And so like, I just think that's so awesome that you said that. And like you going in and say, hey, I need something. I need some help. Like it's changed your life. And more people need to do that.
Dog, and I'm not gonna sit up here and say it's been peaches and rainbow after that. Like even after that, like
peaches and rainbows.
Like you know what I mean? Like
peaches and cream.
Peaches and cream, 112. Man, peaches and rainbow, man, the same thing. But like I was still struggling. Like even when you start to do better, man, you take steps backwards. And like even after that, I don't like talking about this, but I was diagnosed with persistent depression, and I actually got help too. Like I was still messing with my mentor, but I actually got help from a real counselor. And like he would preach about this Bible, like this thing, like this word. And like I couldn't back then, like when I was going through it, dog, when I was going through what I was going through, and I wasn't telling nobody. Like I was just dealing with it. Yeah. You feel me? Like, I don't know. It was bad, but like me looking back now, I had to take them steps backwards to be where I am right now. Like I had to go through that. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and like you said, getting help, man, ain't nothing wrong with getting help, man. It don't make you less than a man getting help.
Dude, I think it's stronger. I think you actually, especially as a man, like actually asking for help is like the best form of mental toughness, because that's not like, people think that's soft.
Well, that's taking action. You're taking action when you're in your deepest, darkest hole. And instead of just staying there, you're going to reach up, be vulnerable, and ask somebody, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, I need to learn this. But what I want to ask you is, what finally gave you the motivation to reach out and reach out to a mentor or go to counseling? Was there something in you that you're like, I need to do this? And was there a reason that you did it? You know what I mean? Like something that you made the decision that day to pick up the phone or to go and talk to the person and say, I need to start doing this.
Dog.
For like think about a kid listening who's like in that space. Like what would you tell them, like why they should reach out?
Bro, I was like, it was crazy. Like, you could ask my roommates. Like, I wouldn't even talk. Like, I go lock myself in my room. I'm dealing with these demons. I'm dealing with these thoughts, man. I'm dealing with all these loved ones in my head that just keep dying, and like it's like nothing in my life going right. Like, I'm constantly getting injured. Like, I'm putting everything I have into this game, and I'm not getting a return out of this game. And then back home, I'm dealing with all this stuff that's going on back home, and bro, it's putting me in a tank. Like, bro, I'm not even joking, bro. I would think like laughing and joking. Like, if I'm laughing and joking, something's wrong. Like, if I'm smiling, something's wrong. Like, bro, I would lock myself in room, and like, bro, I really was in a mental abyss. And like, I know it's a lot of kids going through that. Like, you know what I mean? And like, it's okay to get help. Like, dog, like, it's okay to take yourself out of that. Like, you feel what I'm saying? That ain't normal. That ain't right. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Life not supposed to be lived like that. And I could be so happy and be so joyful and be so playful now because, like, bro, I know life can't be no worse than what I was going through. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, you feel me? If you going through something like that, man, go get some help. Go get some help. It's okay to get help. You're not soft. You're not weak. You're doing the right thing, and you're just making your life better. Like, and by me, I don't like talking about this stuff, but like, if I could talk about this stuff and help somebody else get through what they going through, dog, I made a change. Like, I did what I was supposed to in this world, and that's what it's about. It's not about me sitting over here glorifying like my story or trying to get somebody to buy into my story. No, it's about helping that next kid that's going through some real tough time, that need help getting through it, and he don't know how to navigate it. I hope he listening to this, bro, and I hope he takes something from this, bro, and help make his life better and inspire the next kid after that, and that kid inspire the next kid. Like, you know what I mean? That's what it's about.
Hell yes, dude.
It's unreal.
That's exactly why we do this podcast. Yeah. Like, literally, so this is year 5. We're probably on 5.5
years, yeah.
Right? And like, Toph called me like 2 months after I retired, 2 months into the first season of me being retired. And being retired is hard, you know, when you played a pro sport for 10 years and then like your kind of identity is stripped of you. So that was a little bit tough of a transition. And he reached out to me. He's like, do you want to do this? And, you know, there's some podcasts out there that are like, they tell like crazy stories of being a pro athlete. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. I want to do this, exactly what you're talking about. And like, and it's given me so much joy in life to give back to that next generation. And I'm like, I literally want to instill that in that kid who's searching or going through a hard time. And I want to mentor them through that. And I also want them to do it to the next kid, like you said, and the next kid. And if you can create that domino as a coach, as a person, as a mentor, as a friend, as a brother, as a sister, as anybody who can help somebody in that, you know, place, and you can help lift them up, I think that, you know, they're going to do it for the next person and the next person. And we need more of that in this world, you know?
1,000%. That's what it's about.
Hell yeah.
That's what this life is about. And I be joking with my friends. I be joking, but I be so serious. I feel like that's what spreading the gospel is about. Like, it's just not teaching people the Bible, but it's spreading the good news. And that's the good news, because you helping somebody change their life. And I feel like that's what Jesus was doing. And like, I aspire to be more like Jesus every day. So this is me spreading my good news.
Spreading, man.
Hell
I
yeah.
love it.
Hell yeah.
Definitely.
Want to talk about his career a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I want to get into one thing. So that was awesome. Let's get a little less deep here. We'll go a little more. Yeah,
we'll climb up a little bit.
Yeah. But one of the things you said, so I don't know what it's like in football. I'd love to hear about what it's like in football, but in hockey, it's become a sport that's a lot more skilled and a lot less competitive, you know? And one of the things that you talked about, particularly when you were a basketball player, is like, I want the dude, give me the best player on that team. My job today is to make that guy's life miserable. Mm-hmm. And like, that is a trait that at least in hockey, but I'm imagining in all sports, is kind of like faltering. Like, just that competitive, like my job, like, is to make your life hell. How have you used that kind of mentality? Obviously with the position you're playing in football, that's your job, but like, where does that come from? like that competitiveness, that like that's what I want to do. I don't want like if I get the points or like if whatever, that's great. But like I relish the job of like
beating another man,
beating you one-on-one,
beating you
know
one-on-one. Look at me eye to eye.
Like,
I'm going to own you.
That's something like, and as a former college recruiter and talking to NHL scouts and stuff like that, like they live to see those kinds of kids because there's not that many of them anymore. And so like, where did that come from for you? How did you develop that like competitive edge advance? Like I want me and you, buddy, let's go.
Dog, I think that's just growing up in St. Louis. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I grew up around some pretty competitive kids. Like, a lot of the kids I grew up around was a lot better players than me.
Yeah.
Honestly. And, like, I would compete against these kids every day, man. And these kids was dogs. Like, you feel what I'm saying? They want it. Like, and they trying to embarrass you every time. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you in these high pressure environments, and even being the elite football academy, like, I'm going up against the best of the best in St. Louis every Sunday, every Wednesday, dog. And I'm sometimes out there getting embarrassed, like, you know what I mean? But, like, going against dogs, it's either going to make you shy away from it or it's going to make you more of a dog. And I think, like, this area is just so overlooked because you got, like, Cali, Georgia, like, Florida. You got all these glamorous. So people forget, like, all the raw dogs and all the raw talent in the Midwest. And you feel what I'm saying? Just me growing up in this environment, being around some great athletes, I think it just inspired that, like, this a rough place. Like, you feel what I'm saying? These kids rough. These kids out here trying to get it. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like I developed that same mentality being around these kids. And I got to credit that to the area and my parents. My bad.
I love that.
You know, this guy loves competing. We play like some games every single day. We play a couple of different games and we do different competitions and we're talking shit to each other nonstop and you know, like nonstop. Like, and I'm like, no. I want to kill you. I want to beat you. I'm your coach right now. I don't want to lose to you. And he doesn't want to lose to me. And we're going, and then I grab in another, hey, get over here, play against him. Now we start competitions. And I think that, you know, talking about what Toph's talking about, what you're talking about, like, we've got to build that into life and practice. I feel like the America has got a little bit soft with competing and competition. Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody should get a good grade. No, you got to earn that. And if we keep giving kids things, they're never going to learn resilience. They're never going to learn what it takes to actually earn excellence because they're just giving good. Yeah. No, stop giving it to them. Make them earn it. And parents listening, coaches listening, make your kids compete. And then you're there not to coddle them when they lose, but to teach them how to pick themselves back up, learn from the loss, and get better. And that skill will translate to everything in their life: sports, school, relationships, business, work, everything. You have to learn how to lose. I fail every freaking day. And that's why my business is where it's at, because I am not afraid to put myself out there. I know you aren't. You're speaking, you're doing charity work, you're doing all this stuff. You're putting yourself out there, and you're never going to be great at something the first time you do it. When I started speaking, I mean, I would sweat through like 6 shirts. I'd have to wear like literally 5 or 6 shirts. Yeah. And my pits would be disgusting. And now I only sweat through 2 shirts.
Yeah, I feel it.
You know?
Yeah. Man, 1,000%. And man, shout out to Jeff. And it made me think about something. Even when I was a kid, dog, like we had these little workbooks at school, and like, man, like I told you before, I wasn't the best student. Like school was never really my thing. But bro, like, man, we talking about going through workbooks, dog. While you going out to recess, I'm gonna work on this workbook. I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna beat you doing this. And man, shout out to Jeff. He really brought these competitive juices back that like I feel like has died out from me getting away from this area. And that's why I wanted to get back home, because I wanted that. I wanted that rough edge that I had growing up. Like when I went to college, like I wasn't the most skilled player, but I was super competitive and I wanted it. Like, you feel what I'm saying? I wanted the big dog. Like I want the big dog. Like, you feel what I'm saying? I'm going to dethrone you. I'm going to show you what we about here in St. Louis. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And like working with Jeff has really just brought that back, that inner child back in me. And like I said, it's got softer because social media kids scared to lose. You feel what I'm saying? But the thing about competing, it's not about winning or losing. It's just about competing. It's just about knowing that you went out there and gave your best. And sometimes you're going to win. Other times you're going to lose. Like earlier we was talking about fights. Like you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But like they said in this movie, you're going to live to fight another day. You feel what I'm saying? So like the same thing about competing, man. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But you're going to be able to step up and battle again.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm sure you used a lot of that, of what you learned to get where you are now with the Jets. So you go play at the University of Illinois, but then you're undrafted after a career. Mm-hmm. What's next? Like, talk to us about getting from, done with college, and now you're starting.
Did you think you were going to get drafted?
Bro, I'm going to be dead honest. Like, bro, I didn't even think I had a shot at going to the league. I was talking to my head coach. He was telling me, I don't even know if you're going to have a shot. Like, I didn't have no agents really talking to me. I didn't have nobody talking to me. Like, I was telling my homeboy, and my homeboy sent me screenshots the day of draft day because then we thought I was going to get drafted. I'll pull them up later. But, like, it was COVID. So, like, usually it's, like, maybe, like, 300 people that's going out, I want to say. I'm just guessing. But, like, now it's 2 pools because you got 2 classes of seniors because of COVID.
Yeah.
So now it's like 600, 700 people. And, dog, I'm knowing, like, my season wasn't that hot. Nobody talking to me. If no agent's talking to you, that means scouts not talking about you. So, like, I'm like, dog, like, it's not looking too hot for me. And then earlier that year, I wanted to quit football altogether. I ain't even want to play it no more. Like, I was like, man, I'm done with this, dog. I'm hanging up my cleats. And, like, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy.
So you don't get drafted.
I don't get drafted.
What's because we're a hockey podcast, but obviously you have so much insight to share here. Okay. Where do you go after that? What happens?
Okay, so after your senior year, you have to sign with an agent, right? So
have to.
You don't have to, but it's best to find an agency. So like these agents, they weren't really. I'm not gonna lie, they weren't really talking to me, but like it was the only agency that talked to me for real. Like, and then my friend was signed to him, so I just called them out of nowhere and say, hey, I'm assigned to y'all. Like, you feel what I'm saying? And they sent me down to Florida to go train, and I'm down there in Florida. I'm around all these guys that's getting draft grades. Like I'm going midday or I'm going second day. I may end up going the end of the first day. Like I'm around these guys talking about they getting drafted, or I'm going third day. Like I didn't have these stories because teams weren't talking to me. My agents weren't really telling me like you was gonna get drafted. You feel what I'm saying? So I went down there, trained. I got right. You know what I mean? I'm down there. I'm looking how these guys move, how they running, and I'm like, bro, I'm better than these dudes. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, and like I'm better than these dudes. Like, if they could get drafted, dog, all I need is a shot. Like, that's all I need is a shot. And I knew if I could get to pro day, dog, like, you feel me? Like, I always been like super athletic. Like, you know what I mean? Like in college, it really didn't show because I gained all this weight. But as a kid, I was always super athletic. And like I would see my numbers like down there in Florida and like, dog, it was crazy. Like some of the numbers, like I really thought pro day, honestly, hold on, quick story. Like when our last mock things down in Florida, 40, I ran like, no lie, like 4.32. So I'm thinking like, dog,
that's fast.
I'm thinking pro day, dog. I was thinking like, dog, I'm going 4.2 at pro day. I'm going high 4.2. That's what I'm thinking in my head. It didn't really work out like that. I ran 4.38, but like that got me my opportunity. Pro day got me my opportunity for the NFL. It got me
so you go down there, you don't get drafted. But you call an agent. Again, you take an initiative. Awesome. Say, you will sign me. They send you to Florida.
To train.
You get right. You get to a pro day. You do well enough
for teams to go back. So when I did well at pro day, it made teams have to go back and look at the film. Like, who is this kid? Like, we got to look at this kid. And then after that, I'll start hearing, like, I might be drafted. Like, you know, teams was liking my versatility. Because, like, the thing about me in college was I was really versatile. Like, I was athletic enough to play corner, but I was smart enough to play nickel, and I was smart enough to play safety. Like, Coach Lovie Smith entrusted me to do a whole lot of stuff in the defenses. And big shout out to him, because that really got me my shot in the NFL. So, like, they went back and watched the film, and the team started to love my versatility. They loved how I moved and things like that. But the thing was, like, where do we play him? Like, he really wasn't really super productive at corner or safety or nickel. He was always hurt, but, like, he's had big plays at all, like, 3 positions. He done guarded some of the best receivers in the Big Ten. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, it made teams take a step back and look at me. And I started hearing I was going to get drafted. So I was hearing 4th round, 4th or 7th. So that's the end of day 2 to day 3. So now I'm super excited. I didn't talk to like 20 teams, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't talk to a lot of teams. Like, my people back in St. Louis, like, we excited, you feel what I'm saying? We end up throwing a draft party, like, back in my high school, SLU High. So I'm like, yeah, I brought the hood out. I brought my family out from the east side. You feel what I'm saying? I brought them over to SLU High, and we don't get drafted. We go undrafted. And it was crazy. Like, this is why, like, I think I'm so a big believer in spirituality and God. Like, it was a coach from the Jets, which ended up being my safety coach. He called me before day 3 started. He said, he gave me every safety that was on the list, and it was 8 names he gave me. He had me write every name down, and he told me about them. He was like, dog, I hope you get drafted. Like, I want you to get drafted. We just gave away our 6th round or 5th round pick. We traded away. We don't got no more picks. But if you don't get drafted and you think you could beat these guys out, come to New York. So I go through the draft ends. My name don't get called. I'm super pissed. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for my family, because, like, we ain't never had this happen before, and it almost happened. Like, and my head coach never had nobody drafted. I wanted to be the first one to do that. So it kind of didn't work out like that. I went in the room with my head coach. I called my mentor.
This is your high school coach?
My high school coach.
Okay, yeah.
I called my mentor, and now we got to navigate this process. So all these teams, they call it, and you only got 10 minutes, because these teams are offering you a deal, and if you don't accept it within like 5 to 10 minutes,
They'll just get to the next person.
yeah, they'll give it to the next person.
Yeah.
So it was about 18 teams called, and we narrowed it down to 4. Me and my mentor, because my mentor played in the league for 12 years. He coached in the league for like 15, so he'd been around for a long time, and he was a 1st round draft pick. So
We'll give him a shout out. Who is it?
Coach Gilbert, man, my dog. He was drafted. I think he was the number 22 pick in his draft class back in the 80s, and he had a long, great playing career. Even better coach, even better man. Shout out Gilbert. That's my dog. So me, Coach Bird, we on the phone, and we going through it, and my agents them calling on another phone. So my agents, they wanted me to go to the Vikings, because the Vikings were offering me the most money. They wanted me to come play nickel. They was offering me like $200,000 something to come play. And then I had, and the Vikings were calling. They said they liked me. They wanted me to play nickel. But me and my mentor coached me at Illinois, so he knew me well. And I come from a Tampa 2 system where it's a lot of zone. My eyes on the quarterback. Shout out Lovie Smith, the Tampa 2 system.
I grew up a Bears fan. Lovey got us to the Super Bowl.
Man.
Mad respect.
Man.
Yeah.
So shout out Coach Smith, man. Tampa 2 system. I played a lot of zone in college, so I could play zone really well. And the Vikings, they were blitzing a lot, playing a lot of man, and that kind of wasn't my game. So I wasn't listening to my agents. Like, I was like, I heard them, but I wasn't really listening to them. My head coach from Illinois, he was like, I think the Giants would be a great pick for you. The Giants kind of ran the same system. So in the back of my head, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Then it came down between San Fran and the Jets. And San Fran, my mentor told me, they ran in both the same defenses, a lot of zones. You feel what I'm saying? That's something I'm very familiar with. But the thing was, San Fran the year before drafted a guy named Tufonga, who's now he's a Pro Bowl, all-pro safety. So he's a really good safety. But then he was a third-round draft pick, which will always get a bigger leash than me, and he'll always get the benefit of the doubt. And you got to look into that. And the thing about the Jets, they didn't draft no safeties. They only had 8 safeties, though. So I would have to go beat out more people, but at the same time, it would be better because they didn't draft anyone. So that wasn't their guy. And then I called the coach back. I went from a $200,000 deal to a $10,000 deal with the Jets, and I told him I'm coming. Forget it, I'm coming.
So like betting on yourself. Like I got a better shot with the Jets. It looks smarter. I'm taking a $190,000 haircut, but this makes more sense for me to earn a real spot.
Yeah, I told him, like, I called the coach back and I was like, I'm coming. My agents were like, hold up. Let's see if we can get him to offer some more money. I'm like, nah, I already made the call. Like, forget it. Like, we going to New York. And like, when I went out there and I just seen my family face, dog, and I seen my pops crying because, like, you feel what I'm saying? We've been through a lot. Like, you feel what I'm saying? I'm seeing my family crying, and, like, I can see like, they happy for me, but at the same time, like, you feel what I'm saying? That moment created a monster. Like, you feel what I mean? And I knew when I went out to New York, I knew what my intentions were. Like, bro, I'm finna take somebody's job. Like, straight like that. I'm taking food out of somebody's mouth. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, y'all embarrassed me in front of my family, so now I got to do something from you. I got to take something from you and your family. So that was my main objective.
And so I didn't know TA super well when the draft was going on, but he was working with my boy, Dr. Tony Katakis. Huge shout out.
Shout out Dr. Tony.
Best guy in the world at his job.
My dog.
All of my athletes work with him, and he'd been working with TA for a couple years at that point. And so I'd seen TA around. I'd talked to him a couple times about some mental stuff, like as far as mental side of the game. Hey, you could try this, you could try that. Just a couple of conversations. And like the day or two after the draft, I remember he was in Dr. Tony's office, and I was talking to him about not getting drafted and like, you know, go prove people wrong. And he had this different look in his eye. Like after he wasn't drafted, you had a different, I remember you were doing a pigeon thing on the table with Tony pushing on you. And I remember kind of talking to you in his little ass room that he used to have. And you just had this look like, I'm going to prove some people wrong. And I was like, dude, I didn't know anything about you as an athlete, didn't know anything about you as a football player, but I saw the look you had in your eye after you didn't get drafted. And I was like, I think he's going to give himself a chance, literally just off your personality. Like, and to see what he's done since that day to, you know, fast forward 3 years later, probably it's been, very cool.
Yeah. That's where like, dude, like I feel like every success I've had in my life has been proving people wrong. Like that's been a big part of my mindset. Like, and you talk about not getting drafted, talk to a lot of undrafted people who are playing in the league. They'll probably tell you the best thing that ever happened to them was not getting drafted. And a lot of times the worst thing that can happen to a talented kid is to get drafted and to get drafted high. Cause you forget about the work that you put in. You're like, oh, you know, I made it. It's like, well, nope. Nope. You got a bunch of TAs that are like, you know, I'm coming for you. Yeah.
I'm going to take the food out of your mouth.
And I ain't gonna lie, like it wasn't always like this. Cause like, in college, I got to a point where like I was so, I ain't gonna say I was so much better than everybody, but I was really good in college that like I was kind of spoiled rotten. Like I could get hurt and like somebody would be starting and he could play well, and like when I come back, he just got to go back to the bench, and like, you know what I mean? And that kind of made me take the game for granted. And like for me, it wasn't, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't about proving people wrong. It was about proving my loved ones right. Like these people back at home, like, you feel what I'm saying? That's why when I first came here, I told y'all I took my dogs out. Like last night, I took them out and I showed them a great time, because like when the world said I couldn't do something, bro, them was the same people telling me, like lifting me up. When the world was trying to push me down, they was the ones lifting me up. So like loyalty huge for me. So like, you feel what I'm saying? It's about proving them right. Like I'm gonna go to New York and prove my loved ones right, man.
I love that.
Forget the world.
And you've done that, you know, and you're going to continue doing that.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
Dude, when you're like, that's so I like I don't want to say study, but I I love just like this thing of greatness. Like I want to know more. I want to like study it and read about it. Like who's great? How do they become great? Like whether it's a team or whether it's a player, like individually, people who play for something bigger than themselves is like a hallmark of so many great athletes or coaches. Like if you're doing something and it just means more, it gives you more purpose for what you do. It gives you more meaning for what you do. And, you know, people play for the love of the game. People play for people who believed in them. People play for something bigger than them. And to be honest, like in our culture of sports today, a lot of it is about me. A lot of it's about me. And then also like when you talk about the people, like, what can you do for me? You know, like what can you, that was like the worst thing when I was a college coach and we'd be recruiting kids, like the people who would come in, specifically like the parents, would be like, okay, what can you do for my kid? Like just entitled almost, like tell me what you can. It's like, well, your kid's got to earn it. So if that's what you're looking for, then this probably ain't the place for you.
That's real.
You know? And so I just, when you play for something or someone, it just gives you so much more meaning. And when it means more to you, you're going to put more into it. And when you put more into it, you're going to get the better habits. When you get the better habits, it's going to make you great. And so like, just again, surrounding yourself with the right people and then just like playing for, I love that. I'm not trying to prove people wrong. I'm trying to prove people right. Like, cause we all have our doubters, but we all have our believers too. And like, and it might just be one person.
Yeah.
You know, for some people it's one, for some people it's a group, whatever it may be. Like I love that. Prove people right.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but so this was your second year in the league?
Yeah, I just finished my
right.
second
I knew that, but I mean, so your first year in the league, were you number 2 safety all the way up until the last game or last 2 games you became a starter?
I was really so I came in, I was last on the depth chart, like number 8 or 9. I ended up making the team, the 53-man roster, and now is 4 of us who make the team, but they bring somebody back, so it's 5 of us in the room. And I start off like honestly, like I end up getting in the first game at the end. Second game, they told me I played dime. So I came in, I got messed up by Amari Cooper, man. I don't know you too well, dog, but shout out Coop, man. Dog, you made me a way better player. And I didn't play really again on defense because that kind of killed my confidence till later on down the line. And like, so I was the last safety for real. And they took a chance to like develop me because I didn't really get that chance in college to really develop because like they would just always move me around and make me play. So
in practices, you just dialed in video. You know, I know you watch a lot of video. We've talked about how much video you watch and study video and all that stuff. Like, so you just took that, you know, after you weren't really playing in the games, you just dialed in your focus on practicing and getting better and things like that.
Shout out to LaMarcus Joyner, who was, I call him my vet, and you could call this another mentor along the way. I really just followed and studied him. Like he been in the league 9 years. At one point, he was one of the best safeties in the league, and he was the best nickel in the league for a period of time. So like I studied him. Like everything he did, I did. Like he would ride the bike, I went to ride the bike. I would talk to him. I wanted to pick his brain. I wanted to know what he would know. Like, you know what I mean? And like I did that for like 9 weeks straight. You feel what I'm saying? Picking his brain. I'm staying up to 2 a.m. watching film, going over every play as one safety or another safety. I'm trying to get in my playbook. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm taking practice reps and I'm treating them like the game. I'm on scout team now. I'm still on the team. I'm still an active member of the roster, but I'm on scout team. So I'm going against our best receiver. I'm going against Garrett Wilson every day, Tyler Conklin, and I'm gaining confidence going against these guys, thudding up Breece Hall, like giving them everything I got, because ultimately that's going to give them the best look for Sunday, but ultimately that's get me better too. And like, dog, I'm just gaining confidence and I'm getting better. Like, you know what I mean? I'm stealing so much from LaMarcus. I'm picking his brain. I'm learning so much game. And like, when I got that shot again, like, bro, I didn't look back. Like the next time they let me play defense, which was against Buffalo, it was a 3rd down, and I say this play changed my career, the trajectory of my career. It was a third down, and it was late in the game in the fourth quarter. They were up, I think they were up like 10 or something like that. I don't know. I really don't remember. And it's 3rd and 12. We playing man, and like they bring me in the game to play dime again. Same situation from week 2 to play dime.
Yeah.
Crazy how God worked. It was the same route. The first time it was a 3-by-1 against Cleveland, Amari Cooper at number 3. This time it was a 2-by-2 against Dawson Knox in the slot. He ran the same corner route. You feel what I'm saying? But this time I break it up. Like I break the pass up, and then next play we block a punt, and then it's a close game in the fourth quarter. You feel what I'm saying? That play changed my career. And then a couple weeks later in Seattle, LaMarcus goes down.
Oh, wow.
My mentor goes down, and they yelling, TA, like, TA, get in the game. Dog. And I was ready this time.
Yeah.
I was ready. And yeah, it's crazy how God worked. It's crazy how God worked.
And
So
and
cool.
I know you're religious, and I'm not saying anything about God here, but it works because you worked. You stayed up till 2 a.m. You followed him around. You rode the bike. You picked his brain. You watched the video. You did all those things to learn from that, getting dusted. And now the same route comes out, and you had probably watched that video of you getting dummied 100, 200, 300 times. What could I have done better? You studied. You put in the work. You were ready. So when the next opportunity came, bam, you ran away with it,
I understand that, but I'm always going to give the credit to God.
I know.
Because faith without works is dead, but at the same time, I could have did all that work, but if I didn't believe that work was going to get me somewhere, it would have never happened. And I had to believe it even when I couldn't see it, and that's God. And God did put the LaMarcus in my life, and God did put the Jeff Ulbrich, my defensive coordinator, in my life, and God did let Marquand Manuel, who's my safety coach right now, call me, you feel what I'm saying, during that 5th round and tell me, dog, I want you to come here if you don't get drafted. So, like, I could sit here and say it was all me, bro, but, like, in reality, it wasn't my work. So, like, God had this all mapped out, and I had to go through what I had to go through to help somebody build their story. Like, man, this all God's doing, dog. It's all God.
I love it. So that takes you to the end of your first year.
Yeah.
Your second year, you're going in and you got some confidence. End of the year, you have a great end of the year. What's the difference in your off season looking like from going in year 1 to going into year 2?
I'm going to be real with you, bro. I never had money in my life. So, like, bro, having the money now, I have the money to do whatever I want to. Like, and you talking to a kid that never had money ever. So, dog, I'm not gonna lie. I'm blowing off. Like, I'm blowing it off. Like, I'm taking vacations, dog. I'm partying with my friends. I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? And I'll say I did work hard last off season. I did put in the work up in New York. But at the same time, I don't think I was as focused as I should have been last off season, because, like, I'm not. It's just a change. Like, your whole lifestyle has changed. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the thing about it, I thought, like, the NFL, man, this thing easy. Like, you know what I mean? I got it figured out. Like, you know, and that's the worst place you could be, because you never got it figured out. Nope. Man, you playing against the best of the best. It's always going to be a learning curve, and it's hard. And each year brings new challenges. Yeah. And I had to understand that. So then last offseason, they traded for Chuck Clark, a safety from Baltimore. They brought him in. Great player, great long career. And then, so basically Chuck, I'm behind Chuck now. Like, I'm behind somebody, and I'm feeling some type of way, dog. I feel like I came in, I proved myself. My first start was against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, dog, and I held my own out there. Like, yeah. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like I deserved the opportunity to start, but, like, I didn't get that because, like, it is what it is. The organization didn't think I was ready, so they brought in Chuck, but Chuck ended up tearing his ACL the last day of OTA, which was crazy. Because he is a great player, and he'll be back this year, and we're going to have a great season. But then going into training camp, they went and signed a 9-year vet Adrian Amos, who stamped in this league. He stamped like. I grew up watching him because he played for the Bears. You know what I mean? So I will watch him a lot.
Yeah.
So they brought in Amos, who was just the captain at Green Bay. They brought him in to basically take the job. And the thing about my safety coach, he's a fair guy. So he's like, man, it's not just gonna be you gonna come here and take the job. Like, you gotta win it. And I basically told him, bro, that's all I need. All I needed was the opportunity. And so we went in training camp, we competed, and
Get me eye to eye with that guy on the track.
Seabiscuit.
You know?
Right there. I'm going to start calling this guy Seabiscuit.
you feel me?
Seabiscuit.
And I won a job. That's what happened. We went in there, they brought in the 9-year vet. They thought you feel what I'm saying? No disrespect to Amos, because he is a great player and he's been a great player for a long time. But I'm a pretty good player too, and I play ball as well. You feel what I'm saying? And I just believed in myself. I believed in my work, and I went out there and I proved that I beat out Amos for the job, and I won a starting job my second year. Amazing,
bro. From what we're talking about 40 minutes ago on the podcast, and sitting here and emotional to what you've been able to build in your career as a player, as a person, as everything. It's been really impressive to be on the sidelines, to know you for a couple of years, and then now to be a part of your team, so to speak. It's been very, very cool to be a fly on the wall, and I tell everybody, I talk about you to my wife every day I come home, and I'm like, as a person, dude, this guy, I love working with this guy. Just the energy you put out, you're a light in the world, your effort, your energy, how much you put into your craft every day. When you come to compete, you're exactly the type of person I want to be around every day, even if I was in a different job. You know what I mean? And I love seeing people like that win who've earned it, and I hope that everybody listening to this podcast takes so much and really, listen to this a couple times, because there's so many good things that we talked about in here. Time. And I've seen a lot of people that have earned it with natural ability. I've seen a lot of people that have had, a mixture of both. And you're a guy who's earned it through sheer will, sheer determination, going through hard things, sticking by, winning the day every day, good day, bad day, doesn't matter, must show up. And I hope all the kids listening to this take that from this conversation.
100%, man. This has been awesome.
You want to talk about your charity and if people can donate and where they can go to help or anything like that?
Okay, so I don't have it all together. But I started a charitable foundation called the Tony Adams Foundation. I'm going to get the 501c3 up and running so people could donate to it. But it's just me doing community work, giving back to the community that's giving so much to me. I have people that's introduced me to football camps, people that's let me live with them, dog. And man, there's just a little bit I could do to give back, man, help inspire the next generation. I give away book bags, man. I give time. Man, I just want to help make the world a better place, man.
Love it, dude. Dude, you talk about being a light in the darkness. This interview was just putting a lot of light out there, man. And appreciate you for coming on, telling your story, being vulnerable. It's going to help a lot of kids out there. Not just a lot of kids, a lot of adults. You and I today. I've been very inspired today.
I'm going to go crush the world now. Let's go. Thank you, TA.
Man, thank y'all for having me, man. This was dope.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.